This could be the biggest Star Wars game ever made. Ubisoft finally gave us our first look at their new Star Wars open world game called Star Wars Outlaws. They initially revealed it at the Xbox Game Showcase, but the day after they had a Ubisoft conference that gave us the release date and gameplay. Boom! Headshot! It's officially coming out sometime in 2024, no official date has been announced, but the gameplay is the most important part. When exactly does this take place?
When does this happen in the movie?
The creative director officially confirmed that this is going to take place between Episode 5 and Episode 6. He also mentioned that the discussions surrounding the story and the game design have been fully collaborative with Lucasfilm.
It's like poetry.
So what do we know so far? We are going to be playing as a young thief called Kay Vess, who relies on a cute-ass companion named Nyx and a commando droid called ND5 in order to survive encounters with the crime syndicates of that era and the Empire itself. From the gameplay and story trailers, we know that you are trying to eliminate a huge bounty that has been placed on your head, which basically does not let you navigate the rest of the galaxy. Now I get it. I understand what you're gonna say. Listen, there's no way we're gonna get married to this game without actually talking about the gameplay or knowing about the narrative.
Will there be a poncho in the game?
So let's get into it. This game has a multi-planetary system that allows you to transition smoothly from combat on foot to speeders and even to a spaceship. You're going to be directly engaging with heists for different crime syndicates like the Hutts, the Pikes, and everything in between. In those heists, you are going to have a reputation system, so depending on how you complete the missions, you will either gain favor from the crime syndicates or they're gonna be on your tail to take you out. Here's a small preview of what we saw when it came to the combat system. From the jump, they showed us that you can enjoy multiple playstyles in order to outsmart your opponents, whether it be through distractions, stealth gameplay, or guns blazing. Nyx is also going to be a huge part of that as well, as you can use him to activate both elemental and environmental triggers to smooth out your gameplay. Not only can he attack or distract your enemies, he can pick up their weapons from the ground and bring them to you, which gives you an extra layer of combat variety mid-battle. The one thing that stuck out to me is the blaster play. There are clear homages to Battlefront 2 and the other Star Wars games that we've come to know and love. It's basically trying to mix the things that worked from some of your favorite action RPGs and put them all into a Star Wars storyline. The sneaking around, using your environment to your advantage, and the way that the over-the-shoulder third-person perspective looks is very reminiscent of games like The Last of Us. I'm not saying it's gonna be as good as The Last of Us, I'm just saying they're picking up on the right cues. Mix that in with some Assassin's Creed-inspired puzzle solving and Battlefront 2 blaster mechanics, I think this could be interesting. Moving on from the on-foot combat, we have to talk about the transitions. You can use grappling hooks to escape a situation that's a little bit tight, and then get into your speeder to engage in full-on Uncharted-style battles in order to escape. Again, taking on cues from other successful games, the speeder play looks a lot like Destiny, where you have enemies trying to cut you off and battle you mid-flight. But to your advantage, in order to deal with that, you have a bullet time ability similar to VATS as well from Fallout that lets you combat that directly. This does not feel like a Ubisoft game. It feels like an amalgamation of some of the biggest mechanics from some of your favorite franchises and are pulled together into a Star Wars story. After they showed us the gameplay, they showed us one of the biggest parts of the story, which is the dialogue options. Remember, this is a player-driven narrative, meaning that the choices that you make have a direct impact on how the other syndicates view you and how the Empire is going to approach trying to catch you. So when you are completing quests, you can decide to bribe or not bribe Imperial officers, do the same thing with crime syndicates, and that will affect your relationship with each one of those factions. Hold up, are you still with me? This is important. You also have a GTA wanted system with the Empire itself. So, as you complete missions, betray some syndicates, and work well with others, the Empire will take notice and try to find you. This is where it gets saucy. The creative director also had a gameplay breakdown after they showed us the story trailer, and they said that you can choose to face the Empire directly or escape at your leisure. That is literally what you can do in GTA, but this time you can get help or get screwed by the factions that you encounter in-game. Trust me, I was super skeptical to see how this played out mid-game, but they actually showed us gameplay of the transitions between direct combat and escaping. And there are literally no loading screens between your transitions from foot to speeder to the atmosphere. Once you get access to your ship, the Trailblazer Light Freighter, you have full control over its exploration and combat in the atmosphere. You can fly straight from the port of whichever planet you're exploring right into orbit and engage enemies in stellar and engage enemies in interstellar combat. The mechanics for the combat look really interesting because they're emulating Battlefront 2 mechanics while also adding in the layer of hyperdrive. You can take care of some of the Syndicate fighters or the TIE fighters and then decide to escape at your leisure with the hyperdrive once it's charged. So not only are you going to be able to use a Trailblazer for exploration, it is a direct tool to be used in combat. With all of those aspects at our disposal, we are expected to make our own decisions and fuel our own narrative in how we're gonna go.
Come on, man.
In how we're gonna go about gathering the credits, upgrades, and abilities in order for us to survive.
Cold, hard credits.
We still don't have any idea if there's going to be a demo, but we do know that it's coming out in 2024. The gameplay looks good, the combat looks interesting, and it seems like it's going to be one of the biggest Star Wars games we have ever received. So I'm gonna be in the comments waiting for you. Let me know, do you want to play this game? And also, if you want some more gaming content, make sure you check out this video on God of War and what I think it needs to succeed, and I also made a review on the Tetris movie, so I'll see you over there.